This is a slightly trickier example of drawing a Venn diagram. If you need to see a simple example, go back and watch the previous video, which is linked up the top here. Now, this question says 50 people were surveyed about what they like to do at the beach. The results were. Now, the first bit of information we need is that it was 50 people that were surveyed. Altogether, they asked 50 people. 35 people said they like swimming. That's important. 35 people like swimming. 25 people said they like sunbaking. And 20 people said they like swimming and sunbaking. So 20 people liked both. We need to draw a Venn diagram to represent this information. The first thing we do is we give our two circles some headings. So this one is, too many S's there, is swimming. And this one is sunbaking. So just like before, we want to try and fill in our both section first. That's the easiest place to start if you can. You can't always, but if you can, it's really helpful. So there were 20 people that like both swimming and sunbaking. 20. So we can cross off those 20 people. We filled them in. Now, let's have a look. I'm going to show you a common misconception that people make, a mistake that people make, and then we're going to talk about why it's a mistake. So what I'm doing now in blue is not correct. And remember that, and we'll talk about why in a second. The statement says 35 people like swimming. So if I go ahead and write 35 in the swimming bubble, and 25 people like sunbaking, and I put 25 in the sunbaking bubble. Now, the reason that what I've done here is incorrect is because we only surveyed 50 people. And right now I've got 35 plus 20 plus 25. Okay, that's a lot more people. We've got 80 people here. That's not right. We only surveyed 50 people. So somewhere we've gone wrong. Let's have a look at our information about swimming. How many people said they liked swimming altogether? It was 35. In our swimming bubble right now, we have 35 plus this 20, which gives us 55. We have 55 people that like swimming, but we were only supposed to have 35. So sometimes in our questions, we have to use a little bit of detective work to figure out what numbers actually go into our Venn diagram. Because the 35 people that said they like swimming, some of those also liked sunbaking. And so some of these 20 people that like sunbaking make up the total 35 that like swimming. So we need to put a different number in here to make the total number of people that like swimming be 35. And a different number in here to make the total number of people that like sunbaking be 25. That's why it's so important to check that you've got the right number of people all together, because otherwise we make these sorts of mistakes. So let's go back and try again. The total number of people that like swimming in the whole circle is 35. So if we already have 20 people in that circle, how many more do we need to get to 35? Well, that's 15. 15 people just like swimming. This question didn't tell us that 15 people just like swimming. It told us that 15 people all together like swimming. It's really tricky, but it is an important thing to know because sometimes we receive information like this. And in the sunbaking section, we know, we filled in our 35 altogether now. We know 25 people liked sunbaking. Altogether, 25 people were sunbakers. So that means our whole circle needs to add up to 25. We already have 20, so we only need 5 more people in the sunbaking section. We can check some of these numbers now to see if they make sense. Swimming, we have 15 plus 20, which was 35 people. Good. Sunbaking, 20 plus 5, which was 25 people. Now let's check how many we have all together. 15 plus 20 is 35, plus 5 more gives us 40. We're still not at our 50 people. It's 10 people we haven't accounted for here. Those 10 people are people that don't like swimming and they don't like sunbaking. They're outside of both of our circles. There are 10 people who are not swimmers and they're not sunbakers. So if you don't quite have enough people to fill in your Venn diagram, think about the people who don't like either of those things. Maybe these 10 people like to play cricket when they go to the beach. Or maybe they like to read a book. There are other things that they could do. So we need to think about those people too. It's so important to make sure that all of your numbers add up to the total number of people that were surveyed in your question. Otherwise, you'll end up with a crazy Venn diagram that doesn't represent the data that you were given. So that's a really key point when we're doing these sorts of examples. Make sure you read the questions carefully. 35 people said they liked swimming. They didn't just like swimming, but they definitely did like swimming, which is what we've got. 35 people that liked swimming. So be really careful with the language you read in your Venn diagram, 'cause in the explanation about your Venn diagram, because sometimes there are some tricks in there.